Welcome to episode 3 of Bromo and Blitz. I've realised this is turning into more of like a bi-weekly podcast, but it's alright, we're still here. And we're going to get straight into the juicy beef, because we've got Conor McGregor cheating on his wife again. Not just with one, but with two people now. It's crazy, and I know you have a lot to say. I was going to do a video on this, but we both said, actually, no, let's just wait till the podcast. Let's do a full podcast rant about this absolute degenerate fool of a thing. And I'll let you go first with your initial thoughts on the whole situation. The dick pics, the kissing some woman on a beach, you know, D. Devlin's posting pictures in support of Conor, like on her Instagram story, posting pictures of him and her, like, lovey-dovey couple. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with D. Devlin. I don't know what is... It's obviously the money that's keeping her there, because they're not married, so she can't just leave and take half of what he's got. So she's kind of stuck there, it seems like.
I just want to say, hello, big Bromo nation. It's been too long, right? And I've got a lot of stuff to say. I'm a little bit narky. I'm a little bit narky this episode, because we never saw this coming. Pause. Right? But I think it's maybe like 2 days ago. Azalea Banks, right? Twitter's own personal crackhead, right? Leaked Conor McGregor's personal nudes, right? And I understand, all right, the Bromo viewers might not want to go and look at Conor McGregor's, disgusting fucking penis, right? So I want to set the scene of what it looks like, right? So one of the pictures is just him naked, right? And to describe his penis, it's kind of like if you got a yam, right? And you put it in a burlap sack and you hit it against a wall a few times, right? That would kind of, you know how it sort of like starts to slant because it's been hit against a wall? That's what his penis looks like. He's clearly coked up. Clearly out of his fucking gourd, right? And I didn't think it could be topped, but it could be topped because he put in the message to Azalea Banks, right? He put lifting weights, and he has what looks like a tiny woman's free weight attached to his penis with a harness, dragging his penis down towards the floor. And this is presumably after a weekend-long bender in which he was seen on a beach, and I can confirm this, right? He was seen on a beach in the presence of a Mexican hotel maid called Juanita Consuela. There's a lot to get into. There's a lot to unpack. For instance, right, he sent this to the worst person you could imagine, Azalea Banks. She is a fucking bunny boiler. She is tapped. This is the same woman that went to an after party with Russell Crowe and smashed a bottle and threatened to kill him. And you're trusting this woman with your cock pics.
It's not a good choice, is it? It's crazy. No. Not only that, but she also put out another tweet saying that they have been sending each other nudes since 2016. And if that is the case, that means that Conor has been going behind D. Devlin's back for almost 10 years, sending nudes to each other.
I'm glad you brought that up. Glad you brought that up, because if we go back to say like 2016, 2017, right, and we look at rumours about Conor sort of like, shagging about, being just a fucking dirty dog, right? We find that one of the first high-profile people accused of this was Rita Ora. And she was... I mean, you can look yourself for the pictures, right? She was kind of in her new age slut arc, which is fine, I guess, but not with a married guy.
Well,
and she was great.
wait, hold on. Need to correct you because all
Yeah,
the
go on.
Conor fanboys will come out and say, actually, they're not even married, so
Oh, right. We'll get into that as well.
yeah.
Don't worry about that. But you know, these pictures went around of Rita Ora draped all over him, like he's a fucking boyfriend or something like that. So it wouldn't surprise me if Azalea Banks was talking to him around that time too. But honestly, I don't believe a single word that comes out of her head. And the only reason that I believe this, you know, the pictures and stuff like that, is because we've actually got evidence for it. Azalea Banks isn't a well-adjusted person. She's kind of crazy, and not in a good way.
No,
you know.
Yeah, and I get what you mean with the whole. Why would you trust this woman with your dick pics? But even if it wasn't to her, it's just like, how many times is he gonna do this to D Devlin, man? And how many times is she just gonna be the doormat? I mean, go back to the whole sexual assault case drama. You know, she was like giving that Nikita a load of shit, saying, "Imagine doing this when you've got when you've got a husband at home and you've got your own kid at home." And it's like, hold on, D. Conor was there too. He had, he has children with you, and also he's been with you for a long time. He's there as well. She seems to always excuse his behavior, but then condemn the other person. It's like, he's doing it too, D. And I don't know how many times Conor is gonna take this woman for granted and just cheat on her like every chance he gets. It seems like he's either in a club, dancing with some woman. He's taking a woman into a bathroom stall. He's going on a 3-day bender with Nikita. He's cheating on. He's with Rita Ora. He's sending dick pics to this woman. He's with some woman on a beach. How many times is enough? On people.
The thing is, what they're starting to call her.
So hold on a sec. People are gonna say, well, why do you care what they do in their personal life? Well, I care about, for me personally, I care about like the children. They need to be brought up in a home that's like strong and stable, and they have a lot of kids. Conor's he's coked out of his face at the BKFC press conference, which made for some good content, and he's a good promoter. But then he's just going off sniffing loads of lines, partying with all these random people, cheating on his children's mother, and he's in the public eye doing this. As they grow up, they're going to see more of this behaviour. It's not going to be good for them. They need a strong, secure family unit. And on top of that, he's supposed to be running for president of Ireland. How the fuck?
Yeah.
Do you think this is going to help his campaign? Like, doing this sort of nonsense? It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
Well, the thing is, right, the internet is starting to call her Triple D.
Oh, Triple D.
The doormat Devlin.
Oh, Triple D. D-Dog. Oh.
Triple D. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And the thing is, people will argue that that this is kind of like an open relationship type situation, right? And you could kind of like give it some leeway if that was the case. But we know it isn't, because when this Nikita this sort of like rape trial was going on with Conor McGregor, Dee Devlin, we actually testified, and she said, yeah, well, this was happening at a period where me and Conor were having a lot of trouble, and we've had to do a lot of work to get over it. So it's not really a mutual thing then, is it? And
on this one that's just happened on the beach, Conor came out and said, I regret cheating on D. So it's like, I got a lot of stick from Conor fanboys for my video about the sexual assault case, and I just said, even taking aside the sexual assault, whether it's true, whether it's not, you've still got a guy that's with someone who's deciding to leave them at home, pregnant, by the way, and go on a 3-day bender with some random cunt. And people are like, well, you don't know what their situation is. You don't know whether they've got an open relationship or if they don't. And it's like, well, they don't, because Conor's expressed regret. And if it was open, there wouldn't be any regret to be had because he won't feel bad because it's open. And even still, even if we grant that it's open, these relationships are still, and I'll bring it back to the children, they are not good for children. The outcomes in relationships like this that aren't like normal, like a normal nuclear family unit, the outcomes for the children are always statistically worse. And that's just a fact across the board, especially when you've got your dad that's fucked off his face on cocaine all the time. You know, you can see him.
And when he's not, he's pickling his liver.
Yeah, and when he's not on coke,
yeah.
he's fucking shit-faced, and he's like, what happened to this guy? I remember a clip of him, like old featherweight Conor on like a sports program or whatever, and someone asked him like, oh, you know, are you going to the after party, Conor? And Conor said, partying is weakness for the soul, and I try to avoid it. Now look at him, bro. Old Conor would be ashamed of new Conor. Old Conor would be ashamed of this Conor. He would look at this Conor and go, what a degenerate loser, bro.
And you want to talk about like the people that he's like disrespected in his career and stuff like that. The one that is disrespected the most is probably D. Devlin, who was out, you know, being the breadwinner. He was paying for his MMA training. He was paying for, you know, his meals and stuff like that, and making sure that, you know, he was taken care of and he did have the ability to train and the time. But we went into like, oh, well, why doesn't he like get a divorce? Because I don't know the logistics, I don't know the laws, but she would try and rinse him, you know, if they were to get married and divorced.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe that's why they're not married, though. Maybe that's why they're not married, because Conor doesn't want to be in a situation where she can leave and take half. Because if she leaves now, the only thing she's entitled to is child support because they're his kids. She can't take half of his net worth. She can't take half of anything. Obviously, because he pays for everything. Everything will be in his name. Yeah. Even if it's in both their names, she ain't paid a fucking dime for anything in a long, long time. She'll have nothing to her name without Conor, and she knows that she's either like trying to convince herself, trying to cope, and convince herself that, you know, Conor's just got demons. He is a really good guy, and I love him still. Or she's just like, well, I'm fucked because I can't go anywhere. They're the only two options I can really think of, because any sane person, if they were with someone like this, who wasn't a millionaire, a multi-millionaire, you'd be like, I'm gone now. Any sane person would do that, bro. Anyone would. I mean, if Jazz came out and she was doing all this shit and sending all these things and bloody going here, there, and everywhere, I'd be like, okay, in a bit, love, you know? Bye-bye. Alright? But because she's stuck with this guy, she's not married, so she's not going to be taking half of his shit. I think that's why. She's just stuck at this point because she didn't work or do anything for herself.
She's in too deep. She's in it too deep, and she's invested too many years of her life into Conor McGregor at this point. It's just sad.
Yeah,
you know, to see her. I mean, you look at pictures of her like walking out of the Nikita. Isn't Nikita Hans case?
I can't remember her surname, but it was the Nikita one that was the sexual assault.
Yeah, you look at her like walking out of that case behind Conor, and it's like the Scarface thing. It's like, you know, when he says, it's the eyes, Chico. It's all in the eyes. And she looks dead behind the eyes.
Yeah.
She looks like she doesn't have anything left to give, because she's just been hearing Conor, you know, talk about, and these are his words, having very athletic sex with this woman after a 3-day coke bender.
It's crazy, bro. Like, and that for anyone would be enough. Like, I could understand kind of, right, if it was just if you just went out, had a one night stand, one mistake. Even then, I'd be a bit like, come on, Conor, have some respect for your fucking you know, partner or whatever. And I know that the the title says Conor McGregor hates his wife, or he just sounds catchy. All right, we know that they're not married, blah blah blah, whatever. But if it was like a one-time deal and he fixed his ways, I can say, you could say, all right, one-time thing, it's a mistake. Sometimes people do it, it happens. But when it's like what DC said about John Jones. It's like you don't make mistake after mistake after mistake. A mistake is like when you learn from it and you grow from it.
This is your character.
This is his character. He's never learning. He's doing it consistently on a regular basis, and he's embarrassing her. He really is embarrassing her, and not just her. He's embarrassing his children too. Like, he's setting such a bad example. And I know, I had people in the comments of that old video that I did about that case, and people going, huh, because I said D. Devlin should be telling her kids, don't turn into the man that your dad is. And a lot of the comments were like, what? A millionaire? It's like, this is the problem. People just put so much value in, like, monetary stuff, like, they're so money orientated that they're like, well, yeah, he may be a millionaire, but he's a cunt. Much like John Jones, much like people like P. Diddy, millionaires, very, very successful, but shit people. And
honestly, I think he's gotten to the point where it's like, so here's the thing. He's an athlete, right? He was a world champion MMA fighter. And I think that in order to be a world champion, you're chasing something. You're chasing, like, the rush of endorphins. You're chasing the high of winning, right? And when you've had that, and when it, obviously, like Conor has, he's lost, right? You start to look for it in other places. You start to look for it in your personal life. You start to look for it in substances and people and doing shit, right? Mark my words, like, this stuff that we are seeing about Conor McGregor right now is nothing compared to the stuff we're going to learn about in the next few years.
Yeah.
The kind of degeneracy that he's gotten up to behind the scenes, right? It's going to come out. It'll come out because people will start looking at the dollar signs and but this is just the start of it. Something will come out, and I'm thinking kind of P. Diddy-esque, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a bold thing, but I see it in him that he is constantly chasing that high, that gratification, that, I mean, I can just see it. I see it happening, clear as day.
By the way, Ricky Blitz is playing a character, so he didn't mean any of that. just
Of course I didn't. I didn't mean any of that.
Exactly. You're so funny, Ricky. You're playing such a good character right now. But yeah, it's just a crazy situation, and I think I just don't understand him. I really don't get, like, what happened. Like, for me, it was the whole going off to do boxing with Floyd. Then when he came back, to fight Habib, it was just like, he turned up to the press conference, shit-faced drunk, getting Dana to do shots of proper 12, and then obviously Habib destroyed him. And since then he's just been going just down, constantly down. He's never had an up. He's always just been going down, and he might have had a moment in time where he's like this, and it just goes. He's like the other month he punched some other guy in a club. He punched some random in a club. He's punching old men in bars. He's like speeding. He's getting accused of SA. He's taking women into bathrooms. He's doing this, that, and the other. And it's like, why not just, like, stick to training? Like, because it isn't like, even if he's not going to be a world champion, he could still stick to like a training program and stay in, keep his mind occupied elsewhere. And it's just, they're trying to sort of this fight in BKFC with Mike Perry. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't think Conor's going to be able to string together enough sober days to actually complete a training camp at this point. That was the whole problem with the Michael Chandler fight, wasn't it, really? He just couldn't...
It's funny that you mentioned that, because allegedly, and it's important that I say this, allegedly, right? Throughout the Michael Chandler fight, the reason it was on again, off again, keeping on cancelled and stuff like that is because Conor was in and out of rehab.
Well, that's just another classic Ricky Blitz character moment.
Oh, yeah. Classic. Which is what I would say if I did hear a rumour about that.
Yeah, but you obviously not... You didn't hear that. No.
No, of course not. No. And it's definitely not something that looks very plausible and could have happened and would be a perfectly logical explanation as to why that fight didn't happen.
No, I don't think so either, dude. I don't think that that's... I don't think that that's definitely the type of person Conor McGregor is. The type of guy to not be able to, put down the bag. Has no impulse control or self-control. I don't think that he's like that.
And it's also definitely not the reason that Dana White can't answer when he's going to come back. Because if you remember, he kept on in one calendar year. He pushed back Conor McGregor's return like 3 times.
Well, it was supposed to be on 303. Was it 303? And then Pereira stepped in to save the card. I'm pretty sure it was 303.
Yeah.
Because that was McGregor Chandler, and then obviously that didn't happen. And then Pereira stepped in. I think it was supposed to be for some other card too, or it was rumored for some other card. Or Dana kept saying he'll be back by the end of this year, and now we're into the following year. And now we've moved on completely. It's the same, it's the same type of guys, like Jones, Yeah, we're gonna get that fight. We're gonna get that fight, and then we just never get the fight because they're off doing other shit, and it's like, Conor McGregor's DMing women his penis, and John Jones is DMing fans abuse. Just trying to,
and also, allegedly, John Jones is also taking a shitload of mushrooms and getting that behind the wheel of his car with a woman that's half naked.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then threatening to kill the police officer, which could be AI voice recognition or something. I don't bloody know. Who knows with these guys, with these crazy guys.
People are saying that about Conor McGregor's penis. I'm sorry. I know an Irishman's penis when I see one. I know an Irishman. You can't lie to me, right? Don't ask me how I know that.
Also, he hasn't even denied it. He put a post on Twitter saying "Happy birthday" to me. He's not denied that they were his. And even with the beach picture, no denying that. Just saying, "Oh, I regret doing it." Okay, D. Devlin, let's play happy families now. And I just want to go back to the cock pics just for a sec, because it's a really weird situation. Because either this was out of the blue, and this Elijah, whatever she's called,
Azalea Banks.
Yeah, Azalea Banks is posting this out of called as revenge porn, or it's all been consensual, and she just randomly decided to release Conor McGregor's nudes for no reason. I don't understand. Either way, I don't get what the motive is behind that, because, if it's revenge porn, I'm pretty sure that's a crime. And if it's not revenge porn, and all of these nudes were consensual, why release them? What can you think of any logical reason why? Because it isn't like she needs money. She's a rapper, supposedly, I think. So, what was it for clout? To get more people checking out her music, maybe? Who knows? But so it's a weird thing to do.
Azalea Banks used to be really big. She did songs with Jay-Z, and I think she did some with Kanye West and stuff like that. But then she started to say some pretty zesty things and have some pretty weird takes. And it's kind of got her in a weird position where she's a bit of a risk to collab with because people just associate her with being a basket case. Now, what I think is, what I can see being a plausible thing is, we know that Conor McGregor was promoting the BKFC, I think last Friday, was it?
Yes.
Yes, it was last Friday.
Something like
So
that.
he'll have had one of his 3-day benders where he meets up with Juanita Consuela, on the beach. And at the end of it, I think he's just that fried. He was just like, you know what? I'm going to go and talk to somebody who I'm tangentially sort of associated with, because he's probably done this with Azealia Banks before in the past.
Well, she says
this
that
time,
she says it's been since 2016.
Apparently, but I don't trust that.
No.
But I just think that he did send it unsolicited, realized what he did, panicked, threatened her, and then she's just gone and gone, well, I'll tell you what, Twitter can have a look at this as well.
Yeah, because she's like, who do you think you are trying to threaten me? Do you not know who I am, sort of thing? So it's showing that she's not really that bothered about his threats. But even then, still, I'm pretty sure that's a crime. I'm so.
It kind of would be on both parts, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, but then again, sending an unsolicited nude would kind of be, well, it would be indecent exposure, technically, wouldn't it? Even though it's not in public, or it's still indecent exposure. So both of them are committing crimes here, which I'm not saying that that's in character of Conor McGregor. That's definitely not in character of Conor McGregor to commit crimes against not only women, but just in general. So obviously he's just he's been in a lot of trouble as Conor over the years.
If he just stopped showing off his bent yam penis, and he got off the pop, and he got off of the coke, he could be a nice businessman. He won't be an athlete again.
No.
Right? People need to accept it's not 2014. Conor McGregor isn't as good as he used to be. He's fried.
Oh, nowhere near, bro.
And
nowhere near as good.
It's like, oh yeah, well, Conor's only 38, and it's like, yeah, but he isn't though, is he? Because of the abuse he's put himself through. He's probably his body age is probably more like a 50-year-old. And that's being generous.
Even then, 38, I mean, what, he fought a lightweight. I like the lower weight classes. That's pretty old still. Pretty old. Yeah. I mean, there was a whole 35-year-old curse that obviously Volk broke, but, it's 38 of those lower weight classes, that's, it's kind of a big deal. But even still, yeah, even if we say that he's 38, he may have been alive for 38 years, but like you say, dude, all that shit that he's been pumping into his system over the years, it's gonna have a fucking mad effect, a crazy effect. His liver's not gonna be a 38-year-old liver, he's no way, and he's just kind of, if he really put all of his focus, fuck off the presidency of Ireland, because after all this shit, there's no way that he's winning that. He should put all of his focus in BKFC. That's what his sole focus should be on, is be promoting that, because he got me hyped. And I said in my video, because I did a video about it, like, this is how you promote a fight. I don't like Conor. I think he's a cunt, but he's a wizard in promotion. He's a wizard on the mic. And that shit got me hyped for a potential Perry versus Conor fight, which I don't think will happen. It won't happen. But it got me hyped to see even Mike Perry's next fight, because it's like, now Mike Perry, if he wins his next fight, like, that him and Conor are going to be squaring off, and it's like, whoa, this is exciting stuff, But if he stuck to that, really tried to be like a businessman and stuck to BKFC, being like the promoter of BKFC, great. But he can't control. He has no impulse control. Like, he can't control himself going out and doing all this unnecessary nonsense. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it really is. It really is, and it's a shame. Honestly, if I was him, I do like what you said. I'd say, right, okay, BKFC is my thing now. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought I could be president. I don't know what I was snorting. That's a joke. I do know what I was snorting. And I'd wife D Devlin as well, and just fucking marriage counselling the fuck out of that relationship.
He also needs to go to rehab, like big time. Needs to go to rehab.
Allegedly, he already has been.
Yo, he needs
it's just keeping him in there.
He needs to stay there, bro. He needs to keep himself there, and people need to he needs to stop surrounding himself with loads of yes men, and he needs people to just tell him, Conor, you need some serious fucking help. Go and get it. You know what I mean?
I'd get rid of John Kavanagh as well. Because that guy has been enabling this stagnant, alcoholic, drug addict Conor for years. He needs a complete overhaul in his team. He needs to start fresh. And John Kavanagh has become a boxing trainer.
Because he's still saying that he wants to fight Chandler. He wants to fight at the White House. Still,
nobody cares.
No one cares. And I just feel bad for Chandler, man. That would have been Chandler's biggest fucking payday, and he was well up for it. And I was picking Chandler to beat Conor, because obviously Conor's off his face doing whatever. But to just waste his time for 2 years, and then, because Chandler's old anyway, he's like 38, 39 or something like that. And now he's saying, yeah, I actually do want to fight Chandler now, and I'm going to do it at the White House. That won't happen. You know, that won't happen. And if it does happen, I mean, what's he going to be doing? Like, trying to run a country and do a training camp at the same time? He's going to fight in the UFC whilst being the president of Ireland? It's not going to work, bro. Whilst also being a BKFC promoter, whilst also going on benders and cheating on D Devlin. No, bro.
Yeah. Yes, he will. He'll do it all.
He'll do all those things.
They'll do it all in a 3-day weekend.
Oh, no way, bro. So he's going to go Friday, he's going to be the president. Saturday, go and fight. And then Sunday, go on a fucking bender and go shag loads of birds. Is that his plan?
Yeah, that's his plan. That's his fucking plan.
I just think he's a fucking clown, bro. He's such a fucking scumbag, man. I mean, I would wish that D Devlin would be able to get out there and just fucking take the kids, man. I mean, there's no way that any child services is looking at Conor's behavior and going, he's a fit and stable father.
It's the money. The money talks, though.
I know, but that's what I mean. That's a problem with this world, this modern world that we live in. It's monetary over everything. Like it's material things over everything else, and it shouldn't be like that, man. It should be. It should be the best interest for the kids, not like, well, Conor's got loads of money, so he can buy them things. Like, yeah, but is he there? Is he there as an actual father? Not just, well, here's loads of money to buy your stuff. It's like, yeah, okay, Conor, but you're also out sniffing lines and shagging random women. What example are you setting there?
We're not helping anything, because we think that D Devlin's this helpless little, traumatized wifey, and then it's like all these rumors come out, and like a few years ago, there were rumors about him cheating and stuff like that, and then he posted a video getting a sloppy toppy from D on a yacht. So it's like, oh right, that. It's not really that big of a deal, though, is it, D?
No.
It's not that big of a deal, obviously, because you shoving that in your gob and you don't know where it's been. It needs to be fucking sterilised and washed.
Oh, God. Crazy wild. Anyway, have you got any more to say on this topic?
I feel better now.
Yeah, have you got it out?
I've got it out.
All right, good. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't have much else to say. I think we've said it all. I think closing thoughts. Like Conor McGregor is just an absolute fucking clown. He doesn't respect his wife partner, D Devlin. And I think he doesn't. Not only does he not respect his D, but he clearly doesn't respect his children enough to try and set a good example. I mean, what example is he really setting? What he's saying is, if you're a millionaire, kids, you can do whatever the fuck you want. That's literally, that's the example that he's saying. You can cheat on your partner, you can go on benders, sniff all the cocaine in the world, commit loads of crimes, and if you're rich enough, then you're fine. That's the message that he's passing down. None of this. Stay disciplined, stay hungry, because if he was disciplined and hungry still, he wouldn't be out doing all this nonsense. He'd be in the gym training. He'd be clean, and he'd be really laser focused on returning to the UFC, or laser focused on promoting BKFC, because not only does it make him look bad and his wife look bad, but it makes BKFC look bad that this guy is like a co-owner of this company and he's out doing all this like shit. Like, could you imagine if like it came out that Dana White was sending dick pics to some random fucking rapper? The company would be like, dude, the stock in that company would fucking drop. Like, could you imagine that happening? Like, comes out Dana White sending dick pics to some random fucking like to fucking Ice Spice or some shit. You know what I mean?
Well, let's not talk about Dana White's poker girls.
I get what you're doing. You're playing that character again.
Yeah, that character, yeah. That kooky character.
It really, if you were that character, you'd probably say something like, it's likely that Dana White was shagging Ronda Rousey too. But that's just a character.
Yeah, that would be a character. And to go a step further, that her boyfriend came out and said, the reason we broke up is because Dana was shagging her. I mean, that's a hypothetical, though.
That's what you'd say if that was true, and if you were the character that you are portraying. But obviously, it's not true, and you don't really mean it, do you?
No.
Right, and on that note, if anyone's still here, thank you for watching episode 3 of Bromo and Blitz. I'm not going to lie, probably won't be weekly. I think bi-weekly works better because sometimes the weeks are dry and there's nothing to talk about. Yep. So I reckon if we do it like every 2 weeks, or if there is a juicy week, we'll do a video. Or we'll do a like today. Obviously, usually the podcasts go out on like a Friday or a Saturday. Today's Tuesday, but we had to get this out because it's a big news. So if there's a big news week, we'll do one. If not, then it'll be bi-weekly from this point on. But we are still doing it if anyone's interested. And yeah, stay tuned for, what day is it tomorrow? Wednesday, because I will probably be posting my predictions for this weekend, because it's Holloway versus Poirier. Who do you think is going to win that fight?
I feel like Holloway is a bit fresher.
Yeah?
I'd just give the slight edge to Holloway.
You're gonna give Holloway a slight edge?
Yeah. Pause.
And on that note, you heard it here first. Ricky Blitz is gonna edge Max Holloway.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
It's alright, I'm just playing a character. Right, well, thank you guys for watching. If you're still watching, like and subscribe. My links are down below. Stay tuned for tomorrow. I'm probably going to... In fact, no, I'm not going to upload tomorrow. I'm going to stream tomorrow. Upload on Thursday. And yeah. Like, subscribe. Links down below. Until next time. I'll see you in a bit.
See you in a bit.